Manchester United's disastrous European campaign comes to a complete, albeit premature, end. 1-0 to Bayern Munich on the night. A game which most people thought Manchester United would not win. But it was must-win to stay in Europe in any capacity, and United needed a favour from the other game, Copenhagen and Galatasaray, to draw, and that did not happen. The Copenhagen won. Congratulations to them. And Manchester United just did not have enough guile, didn't have enough quality, and did not have enough oomph, enough belief to break down what is a very, very good Bayern Munich team. Bayern Munich, I think, played within themselves tonight. When they turned it on, they looked good. United defended well at times. We were compact and made it as hard as possible for them. But Man United didn't have the ability, nor the tactics and system, or the minerals, the three things that are so important to beat this Bayern Munich team tonight. And that is it. No Champions League football. In fact, no European football whatsoever. And it's another disastrous night for Ten Hag. You could argue a 1-0 win wasn't as bad as people expected it to be. However, it's the first time ever that Manchester United Football Club have lost 4 of their group stage games. Ever. Never happened before. And to be leading in 3 of them and to not come out winners is an abomination. 15 goals is also the most amount of goals conceded by an English side in the Champions League group stages ever. So this wasn't just a poor Champions League campaign. It was an unforgivable Champions League campaign. I've seen Man United before go out of the group stage but get 10 or 11 points. To go out with 4 points with this squad up against Galatasaray and Copenhagen, conceding the way we did, is beyond infuriating. Now, I understand that in a number of those games, the mistakes from Andre Onana played a huge part. But over the course of this season, Manchester United have been far too easy to play against. Manchester United have been far too simplistic to run through and break down. We have had a soft centre, an invisible centre, the acres and acres of space for our opponents to play in, run through. Passing or dribbling through our lines has been like a hot knife through butter. It has been overly simplistic. And tonight, when I was watching the game, and the anger levels in me are not like after a normal defeat, because 1, we weren't smashed. 2, this is what I expected. And 3, this is why I stand by what I said today on Straight Facts. I don't want Erik ten Hag to be our manager anymore, because there are fundamental mistakes that he makes, that irrespective of not getting his players, irrespective of the Glazers being here, irrespective of players throwing him under the bus, and I do believe some have done that, the compact nature of our team tonight infuriated me. Not because we were compact, not because we were hard to break down, but all I could think is, why the hell haven't we done this throughout games all season, let alone the Champions League? And I don't expect us to play like that every minute of every single game. But I do expect there to be times, every time we took the lead in the Champions League against Copenhagen, whether it was against Galatasaray at home, Galatasaray away, that is when you go, right, next 5 minutes, let's be compact. Let's not expose our DM. Let's sit back. Let's make it hard to play between our lines. In the Premier League all season, from the opening day of the season against Wolves right through to this weekend against Bournemouth. So easy to play through. So as much as I actually like the fact we were hard to break down tonight, it angered me. And it angered me because it demonstrates this isn't the players. It demonstrates it's the manager telling them not to do it. It demonstrates to me that it is a system. It is the manager's system. So I look at it tonight and think to myself, the system tonight played a huge part. We actually demonstrated we could be hard to break down. If we'd have played like this throughout the course of the Champions League, we wouldn't have conceded 15 goals. We wouldn't have lost 4 of our group stage games, in my opinion. Now, I know we offered very little going forward today. A large part of that is to do with the injuries that we've got and the fact that there was so much pressure on this team to perform. However, against the Copenhagens, against the Galatasarays, I expect far more than we got. And you can even echo this into the Premier League as well. The system is a problem. A massive problem. The best teams in the world become very compact when they lose possession and they work hard to get back into their shape. And we saw that today, moments from Man United. Oh, well, they know what they're doing then when they're being told to do it, when they're instructed to do it. They could do it last year when we went on a very good run from September right through until March. But they have been instructed not to do it this year. And that stupidity has cost us our season. We won't make the top four. We won't be challenging for the Premier League. We're out of the League Cup, and we've had our most embarrassing Champions League campaign in the history of our football club. And those elements for me, when you've proven in the past you can perform, you're not a novice who's learning his game. You've proven in the past by coming third, by beating a number of big teams, by going deep into cup competitions, winning a cup, that you know how to manage it. And Ten Hag has completely destroyed his season. That doesn't negate certain player issues. That doesn't negate the issues with the board. I am not basic. I'm not going to just boil this down to one thing. But the reason we're out of this competition, a big part, yes, will be on Onana's mistakes. But Erik Ten Hag's change to the system, what he has implemented, what he has coached, and the instructions that he has given these players has been an absolute farce. And it can't be denied, in my opinion. Then on top of that, you saw another systemic problem at the club kick into gear. Luke Shaw. Maguire went off injured, but he didn't have a bad injury record per se. But Luke Shaw goes off injured. And I don't know how many of you follow my Twitter. If you're not, go check it out at Terry Flewers. I did a bit of research when he came off at halftime. Luke Shaw injured again. This is his 24th injury as a Manchester United player. And it's the 7th time his hamstring has gone. And just as I said, Monday night on the Top 6 show, Chelsea have to look beyond Reece James because the man's a crock. The fact that for a decade, Luke Shaw has remained here with a body made of biscuits. He's as strong physically as a pompadour. The fact that he is still here is a problem. It's a problem no manager has addressed. It's a problem the club hasn't addressed. And we always think, oh, maybe he's never going to be injury-free. He's never going to be reliable for us. I looked at the squad tonight because of a couple of injuries to players. I looked at the injury-prone players that can. Martial out injured again, continues to be here when he shouldn't be. Luke Shaw goes off injured, shouldn't be here. I look at these situations and just think to myself, away from the manager, away from the terrible campaign, more problems with how bad we are run. A team run well, a club that wants to win at its core, Luke Shaw would have been gone 6 years ago. The only injury I don't blame him for is the leg break. He couldn't help that. The rest of them, for me, he was getting lots of injuries before. He's had too many injuries afterwards. Players like him have to leave this football club. There is no doubt about it. And then what we need is a new manager who comes in with the new board and they pick a style of play and we work on it from day one. A style of play where we pass and move the ball quickly, where we create confidence in how we play, but a system where we also become compact when we are out of possession, like the Bayern Munichs at their best, like the Barças at their best, like the Man Uniteds at their best, like Liverpool and City do now. Look at Arsenal, when they've got their first team out there, do now. As we've seen the likes of Everton do now. Not Everton, Aston Villa, my apologies. Sorry for the misspeaking. Watching tonight demonstrated that we can do it. And I've been in this scenario myself in real life, where I've had members of staff that have worked for me, not in the YouTube world, but when I was in banking. They always foul and have a bad week and not do their job properly. They always have an excuse as why they couldn't do it. And then every now and then, if there was a promotion on offer that they were vying for, or there was a special bonus that got put out, suddenly they knew how to do their job properly every single day. And it used to infuriate me. So you can do it properly now, but you can't normally. So for me, I would always look to sack those people as soon as I could. And I invariably did, because I can't stand I can't stand that attitude of I'll do it when I want to do it. No, you do what's necessary every single minute of every single day. And I look at what our manager has done and I look at what our players have done and think to myself, how have we got until the 12th of December playing this open, barely being compact, so simplistic to break us down. And tonight, all of a sudden we do it when we actually need it to be more attacking. Fuck me pink. It's ridiculous. And it's those decisions. And I know me and Lee Gunner had a big debate about it earlier. And a lot of people call me a hypocrite because I've said that I believe Arsenal may end up being right, that they're stuck by Arteta because I think he can win them a major trophy. Some will say I'm being a hypocrite. It's not true. A hypocrite is somebody that whose actions don't match their beliefs. My belief around what Arteta is now doing and the situation that he is at is different to what I think about Manchester United and Ten Hag. So therefore, my call to action is different because I have different beliefs. That is not the definition of a hypocrite. That is the definition of a difference of opinion. And for me, I don't see this manager turning it around. He has far more experience than the likes of Mikel Arteta. He got it. He was getting it right year one and was improving. I was happy with him. The direction he has gone in is an absolute abomination. And for me, I'm just absolutely fuming. But to a point where I'm not ranting and raving. I'm just fuming with everything about what's happened to us this season. I stand by what I've said all along because this is a nuanced, complex situation, and it's not a conversation to discuss. It's not to be reduced to a simplistic conclusion. I don't think the manager, if he'd have stuck to his guns and done what he was doing last year and just improved on it with better personnel, do I think we'd ever reach the levels of the Real Madrids, the Bayern Munichs, the Barcelonas, or at their peak, back to what we used to be? No, I still think there needs to be systemic change internally for that. But I do believe we could be a much better football team than we are right now. And the manager, in my view, has destroyed it. I don't think he'll be able to get this back, and we should be looking to move him on. The only saving grace, the only silver lining to tonight is that there wasn't an absolute battering of Manchester United. Do me a big favor, though, people, and hit the like button. Please subscribe. This here says, you complained just to complain. So if you think conceding 15 goals, first English team to ever concede 15 goals in the group stage of the Champions League, and for the first time in our club's history, losing 4 of our group stage games in the Champions League is not something to complain about, Cameron, I think you're deluding yourself. If you don't think it's something to complain about, that we proved tonight that we can be compact and hard to break down, but have failed to do that all season, which has been a huge contribution into losing 11 of our opening 22 games, which is our worst start to a season in our 150 plus year history as a football club. If you think that complaining about that is complaining for complaining's sake, I'm going to say this with all honesty. I don't believe you love Manchester United Football Club.